like doing personal things, but it was the Mars in the area of expression. I get an idea, I got to act on it. I got to do this, I got to act on it. As soon as you get an idea, oh boy, good or bad, you're going to act on it, something's going to happen. But if you don't act on it, you're never going to know. Okay, so I tend to force my ideas or be very strong on my ideas. I can talk for 2 hours without flinching. But that didn't come overnight. That's after 50 years of teaching and consulting. I don't know if I could have put up with 50 years of listening and just consulting. I had to get it out. Okay, so that's my fire. Mars in the ninth house is more of the strength and the power of ethics of what's right and wrong. We're fighting for this cause. We're doing this. We're helping the environment. We're fighting this. We're traveling. We're seeing. You're expanding your morality, but you're acting to do this. So there's the need to do things to align with what's right or wrong. Well, what's right is what you need to align to. If you do what's wrong, you're going to have battles over who thinks you're right or who thinks you're wrong. But then when it comes to sex or passion, you date someone. You get together and suddenly you're pregnant before, and how do you explain it to anybody? Like the angular sign, the angular house will tend to push to establish this happened. The succeeding ones, this is how it's been. This is what I have, and this is what I have to do. The mutable signs are, which way do I take this? How do I explain this? That's just how it happened. They're going to have their strength around what's right or wrong. But this right or wrong, this morality is tied up to the group or the religious or ethical groups or the communities you're part of. So there's a need to either prove it and be very self-righteous or very moralistic, or fight it or have it work against you, but you're going to get experience tied up to what's right and wrong in the eyes of other people. And you're having to learn from outer experience what you've run into, where you belong or not. Some people born up in really fundamentalistic areas, and they're almost abused and isolated until they get out and they didn't realize you could live differently, that there was another way to be. And when they understood it, that's it, they changed their life. But the Mars is gaining experience, is putting energy in that direction. And you're having to learn, oops, I can't do that again, or oops, you're learning from experiences around you in any of the cadent houses. Not just one thing, it's going to be a bunch of things and how to react to them. So the understanding ones are the third and the ninth. Half preaching or moralizing in the ninth house and half thinking and trying to know what's true in the third house. When you get to the sixth and the 12th, it's about your actions. It's transforming. So the sixth house, you're reacting to people. Your Mars is reacting, and you have to do things. So Mars is about getting skills, about improving your skills, about improving your energy so you can be useful to others, so you can do things that improve or help or skills that other people need. Healing skills, working skills. You're trying different things to see what you can do, and what you can get good at, so you can be able to use those skills to get jobs, to get works, to help other people as they have demands on you. And as you get feedback, you're normally going to be a little irritable if someone gives you feedback, especially if it's bad. But that's going to be a little cantankerous there. Don't tell me how to do something. Don't watch over my shoulder. The Mars will be quick to fight. But at the same time, it's still trying to improve and make things better. Okay, so in the 12th house, there's so many social things and status things out in the world that how do you know what's worth projecting towards until you've been? How do you know a good teacher until you've had one? How do you know a good club? How do you know the friends are good or bad until you've been part of them? You get in with bad friends, you think they're good, until people start getting hurt, things are being done, all of a sudden, oh, I don't fit in here. So the Mars in the 12th has a tendency to get into things and to do things and then realize, oh, this isn't right. I got to be more conscientious. I can't get involved with the negative use of this. I can't get involved with the anger or the violence. And I don't want to be. And they have to transform their energy so they're not attracted to those. They have to learn to qualify how they use their energy, to be very conscientious around how they're using their energy. And it's always you may think, I've been conscientious. I worked at this here today, but the world keeps changing every minute. There's 24 hours in a day. And what's next to be transformed? Like, what's the next trouble to deal with? So, okay, Yeah. The main idea is just see the difference between the being energy of angular, the having and using energy of the succeedent, and the transforming, the adapting energy, and ways to use things differently or in a diverse way with the cadent in the transforming or understanding. Okay, so then we get from here, each category, it's a piece of a whole totem pole with all the pieces actually connect and they run together, but we're seeing it one at a time. And with Mars in the fire houses, energy to burn. Mars in the houses that have energy to burn, it's going to burn, it's going to shine, it's going to, hey, notice me. It's going to have an adrenaline that's going out enthusiastically. So in the first house, I'm doing this, here I am, I'm here. You know, you're going to push for your own being, you're going to be proud of what you're doing, you're going to be enthused, you're going to put your energy out like that. When it's in the fifth house of your performance, you're going to play like that. The game's on. I'm going to be this. I'm going to be the best of this, and you're going to have your pride and your enthusiasm. These are the fire houses. So Mars there, you're going to want to play physical. You're going to want to do things. You want things to be active. You're not going to want to necessarily just sit around and be in a class and listen. Well, go have adventures. And even in the ninth house even though it's the house of morality and the house of understanding, there's a drive to be out in nature, to out and see things, to expand your horizons, to see more things, and to have more options to include, to be able to do more things. And you're proud of it. I'm on this adventure. Hey, I went down to Cuba last weekend. Great. Wow. I went up to the Rockies. I went snowboarding. It could be whatever. But there's a need to search outwardly for other things to do rather than just the things you grew up doing. But in all of these houses, the first, the fifth, and the ninth, it's a fire house. They have elements of pride and enthusiasm. They're places where you want to put action into place. So when Mars is there, you're going to be pushy to do those things, enthusiastic to do those things, irritable when you're not, and restless, impatient. I got to do it. Like, don't get in my way. So wherever Mars is, you're not going to be that tolerant. You're going to have to work to learn to be tolerant, because normally it's push and prove it. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Okay. So when we get to the houses of concern, these are the practical houses. Materialistic thinking, considerations, these are the physical things. So the second house is having resources. We're concerned about the resources and the talents that we have. And if Mars is there, I'm going to have to push to get the things I want. It's practical. If I'm into this, I'm going to need to have that. If I'm going to be a computer, if I'm going to be an astrologer, I need the computer. If I need my car to get around, or I need to have this. And you're going to push for it, or be proud of what you have and how you got it. And you'll be pushing to get more things, or to use what you have more. There's not a passive element, and you'd be intolerant if you're working in a place and not paying you properly, or something's happening and not getting what you need or what you want out of it. What am I doing here? Then there would be competitions. Kind of like since they put the minimum wage up in Canada, they put the minimum wage up. I don't know exactly how much it was, maybe 15%. I put it up a certain amount, but once they put it up to that certain amount, the bosses who own the companies are trying to either penalize or get tips back from the workers, so they can get that 15% back. And the people who are working, it's not fair. You can't do that. That's my tips. That's my lifeline. So that would be. Mars in the second house will not put up with that. They'd be fighting about that. If you're at home and you got a kid and you need to have things that help you get around with your kids, and you don't have, and the carriage breaks or something, you don't have something to walk around, it's going to be a lot of force or a lot of anger until you get something to replace it. So money can burn a hole in your pocket in that second side, but you're still trying to use it practically. In the fifth house, in the sixth house, it's the area of duty, of work. Don't tell me how to do things. Don't look over my shoulders. I'm working. I'm trying to do the best I can. I'm trying to make this happen. I'm trying to build this. And if you show me nicely, I'll listen and I'll try and improve it if you help me to improve. But if you're stopping or you're criticizing me, I'm just going to get mad at you because at least I'm trying. So the effort is to try and use your energy better, to make things work better, to get better skills and be more capable. But the more capable you are, the less people can be critical of what you're doing. But at the same time, your intolerance to people who aren't capable, the more capable you get, the more intolerant you're going to be of other people who don't work as well or didn't do a good job. So there's a cantankerousness where Mars is, because we usually see Mars when the energy gets blocked, but the drive is to put your energy out in that way and have it work. So someone doesn't know how to get their energy or what to do, you start pushing in these directions, it starts working for them. But it's different for each person. So when you have the Mars up in the 10th house of career, it's pushing for status, pushing for career. It's ambitious. I'm going to be the one that leads. I got to be the one in control. I can't follow. I'm not following you. I'm going to be in charge of the team. It's practical. It's powerful. But it's really over authority or in social positions that wants to be the leader, and the one in control doesn't want to be the follower. The Mars there. And it might be very, very effective and very efficient, but it still would have an impatience and a tendency to be bossy or intolerant if anybody was not doing what they're supposed to do or was taking away from what had to be accomplished. So if you came in late to talk to someone who had their Mars in their 10th house, you're going to get a chewing out. No, like, okay. But it's a practical drive in these things. It's around business, having money, surviving, doing your own. That's a practical. There's a drive to get that. There's an anger when you can't get it, and an impatience when people are interfering with that. When the Mars is in the relationship houses, the air houses, the 3rd house, the 7th house, and the 11th house, there's a push to act on ideas, to share things, to communicate. There's a tendency to communicate too strongly, a little more forcefully, and to be telling the others how to do things. Like there's a forcefulness to it, or a need to act on it. So if the Mars is in the friendship house, the 11th house, there's a tendency to push to prove things, or to compete or prove things to friends, or to tell friends what to do, or to be living up to what friends are demanding. And like the Mars element of doing things is going to be, and trying to get experience is tied up with friends and enemies, or not friends, or competitions between friends, or even who's a friend and who's a lover. 2 different sides. Lover's 5th house. As soon as you get one, you want the other. But the push is towards friendships, or doing things in teams or in groups, and having the groups to do it. So, but that involves doing things and following your ideas, or following the ideas of others to do it, acting on the group consensus. When it's in the 7th house, the 3rd area that you think a lot about or communicate a lot about, 3rd type of relationship, is partnerships. And here you're going to be pushing the partner, or getting the partner. There's going to be a competitiveness with the partner, but a drive to have a partnership, a drive to share things. So we're doing this. Do you think it's okay? We're doing this? Yeah, it's okay. Get your approval. Okay, we'll do this. And then you push to make it happen. Then if it doesn't happen, there can be a fight. How come you didn't do it? Or you said this, or like there could be arguments like that. But the push is to act on consensus, and to be impatient about someone else not going along with your sharing your ideas, or that doesn't back it up. But in Mars and all these, there's going to be an assertiveness in the thinking and the communication, and the types of communications. There's going to be a restless, almost forcefulness. Doesn't mean negative or positive. It's just that way. But it could be interpreted by other people less assertive in that manner as negative.